All right, hands-on challenge. So our challenge is to create an Queueable Apex class that inserts contacts for accounts. So let's do this one step at a time. Create an Apex class called AddPrimaryContact that implements the Queueable interface. Okay, so I am going to go to my Trailhead playground over here. Go to my developer console. Actually, this one here. And I would create this new class whenever this is loading. There we go. So this is the previous one. I'm going to close and close. File, new Apex class, AddPrimaryContact. Flip back to the challenge. Create a constructor for the class that accepts its first argument, a contact as object, and a second argument, a string for the state abbreviation. Okay, let's stop at that. I want to copy the class example we have from here. So we are in contacts, and so you can understand. I'm going to copy this. This is the example, right? So I'm going to flip back here, add primary contact. So I'm going to first paste this, change this, add primary contact. So we have two parameters, right, that needs to be passed. The first one is the contact as object. The second argument here is the state, which is a string. So let's flip back. So this would be just a contact. So I'm just going to take this out. Make contact. Let's name this what? Contact. Con. So I'm not going to name it contact, and it's going to be confusing. And then private, the second one is string. And let's name this state, like that. Okay. And this needs to be renamed as well. And this needs to be changed. Contact, right? Because we are passing the contact over here. The contact over here, and name this con, and this is a string. Name this state, and then this dot contact con, which is the variable, equals con. Boom. That this dot state equals state. All right. So far it's simple. So I'm going to take this out because that's the example. So it's going to be blank executable or execute method, and I'm going to save this first. All right, you're following so far? Flip back to the challenge. Now, the execute method must query a maximum of 200 accounts with the billing state specified by the state abbreviation passed into the constructor, and insert the contact as object record associated to each account. And it also give a hint. Look at the sObject clone method. Okay, so we are going to query a list and put it in a list of account. Okay, before we do that, Yeah, let's do it all together. So here, I'm going to do list of account. Okay, so it's a list of account. And let's name this accounts with a plural. Okay, and then equals. We do a circle over here. Okay, so I'm going to do select ID and then the name of the account, and then I want to also select the contact first name and last name, and also the ID from contact. So the context of this account, okay, and then from what? From account. Actually, let's do that. From account, okay, where the billing state of the account equals the variable, which is state, which is this variable being passed here. And then we want to limit this by just 200 records. So we got the list of accounts here. Houston, we have a problem. So what's the problem? Missing, oh yeah, select first name, last name, ID from contact. Okay, so we get what from select first name, last name, ID from contact, right? Oh yeah, it's plural because contacts. That's right. That's because it's contacts from within the account. Save that. Okay, small things. You have to be detailed. All right. So don't miss stuff. So we have a list of accounts. Next, we want to here. Excuse me. What is the assignment again? Insert the contact as object record associated to each account. Oh yeah, look at the as object clone method. So what is the clone method? Here is the clone method. If you Google Apex clone, so you basically clone a record or a contact record that is being passed, and then you define if you want to preserve the ID, or if it's a deep clone, preserve read-only timestamps, or preserve auto number. So this is the clone method that we will use. Now, if I flip back to my developer console here, I want to now loop, okay, for the accounts that we just query here. Okay, so I'm going to loop for the account object. For the account object, let's name it ACC, and accounts, which is this one, right, which is accounts, and we're going to loop through this. Therefore, so contact, right, let's name this C contact, and then I want to con.clone. We're cloning the contact that is being passed to here. Okay, we want to clone that contact. So after cloning it, we want to set the new one, C dot account ID equals ACC dot ID. So this is the loop from here. Okay, now we are cloning the contact that is being passed, and then we are assigning that contact to this account ID, right? So now we check, does the account already have a primary contact or not? So wait, Yeah. So in order to do that, actually, we have to make a new list which will contain the primary contacts. Okay, so I'm going to do this under this list. I'm going to make a list of contact, primary contact, or just primary. Okay, this is the primary equals new list of contact. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new list of contact, which is the primary contact, a new list of contact, and then I'm gonna do this primary contact, or primary contact, add to the list this one, C. So C, it's going to be added to this primary contact list. Let's just name it primary contacts. Okay, because it's a list, right? Primary contacts. So now the primary contacts is added there, and let's let's insert that primary contact. So let's do an if primary contacts dot size, meaning it's not empty, there is actually some record there. Insert or primary contacts. That's it. So condition if primary contact dot size is greater than 0, right? If primary contacts dot size is greater than 0, then do that. We have line 13. What happened here? List contact primary contacts equals new list. Oh, instantiate it. All right, there we have it. Come on. Okay, so this is our class, the AddPrimaryContact class. Now, the next step is I want to test this thing. Will this thing work? Right? So, if I go back to my challenge here, how do I test this? So, I test this by, how do I execute this? Okay. Testing Queueable Apex here. So, this is what I want to execute. All right. So, if I copy this to test it, right? So, we are passing a contact and a state. A contact and a state. So, if I go back to my playground, oops, this is my other stuff. Okay, now if I go back to my playground here, say let's pick up a contact. Let's pick up one. Let's see Edna Frank here. Okay, Edna Frank. And then I'm going to copy the ID here of Edna Frank. Let's keep it that way first. So to test this, I want to actually, wait, we're going back and forth here. I'm going to copy this first, okay? And then we are going to execute anonymous window over here to test this out. I'm going to paste that, but now we are actually doing add primary contact. So add primary contact. Let's name this primary job new add primary contact. So we are passing a contact record, right? It's a contact record, right? And then we pass the state. So to do a contact record, let's do a circle. Let's name this primary contact. Is a contact, right? Primary contact equals a circle. Select ID from contact where ID equals, I'm going to grab this ID over here for Edna Frank, right? ID equals that. And then, yeah, like that. So we have a contact which is primary contact. So I'm going to pass here primary contact, right, which is a contact over here. And I'm going to pass a string where the state is. Let's see what we have on our playground. I'm really not sure what the playground have in terms of state. So I want to see here. I want to add column to display. So not recently viewed. Let's see all accounts. Display state. Billing state here. Do we have primary contact as well? I want to see. I don't think so. Well, we can't check it like that. So that's okay. Billing state here. And I want to save. What? Billing state Oregon. Okay. Well, we don't have a lot. So let's say if the state is Oregon, these two, right? Oregon. If we pass Oregon onto here, it should set Edna as their primary contact. So right now, Oregon ABC Computing doesn't have Edna, right? Context is actually 0. There is no context for ABC Computing, but when we run this QJob, it should make the primary contact as Edna and all the other accounts that is in Oregon. All right. Okay, so after that, you have to also enqueue the job, which is primary job. So you actually define and instantiate that. Then you have to actually queue the job. I forgot that. Okay, let's execute that now. Once you execute that, if I head back to my jobs here, there it is. Okay, now it says it's completed. So what we were missing is on the here we have to select ID, first name and last name, and then pass it from here. So now if I go to ABC Computing, was it? If I go to ABC Computing, which is in California or Oregon, if I go back to accounts here, what it is ABC Computing, or let me just go from here, all accounts, and it was in Oregon here, ABC Computing. So now we have Edna Frank there. So that worked as expected. Okay. Okay, so now let's go back to our trail or challenge. Next up is create an Apex test class called AddPrimaryContactTest. I'm going to copy that back to my developer console. Close this, make a new Apex class, Name this guy AddPrimaryContactTest. Okay. Then I'm going to copy the example for the test from the Trailhead. So we have this example testing Queueable Apex, right? Let's just copy this, just get the skeleton and add primary contact test. Paste that. Now add primary contact test, right? So now the first thing we want to do is doing the setup. Okay, so actually I'm gonna take this out. Let's make the shell first. I'm gonna take this out, and then this is the queuable list of account. Name this test accounts, right? New list of account. Come on, what was with my typing? Okay, now we want to create new account. Let's loop for, let's say, for I equals 0, I 50, I plus, or we should declare it integer, right? And then we are going to add the account. What's wrong with this? Oh, always forgot that. Instantiate that. Now I want to add test accounts dot add, and then we are going to add a new account. Okay, so inside here I'm going to say new account, and then you define it, the name equals the name of the account equals I don't know, account space I, right? Account I, and then so it's looping, right? And then we want to add the billing, what? Billing state, CANNY, right? So, okay, I'm going to add that. So then we are looping again over here. Boom. So what? 50, and then I should start from, let's just change the name, J and Y, right? And then we actually, what is this? That's that. This is the setup. So I'm going to insert test accounts, right? So now we are going to add a contact. So contact test contact equals new contact, and then first name John, last name Doe. Okay, and then insert test contact. So we've inserted the test contact, and then we are going to define a string here. State, this is for actually calling it, right? CA. Okay, so now we have the setup ready. So it's adding 50 accounts. First create a list, then create a 50 accounts in California, create 50 accounts in New York, and then we create a test contact, and then we define the state, which is California. And then now we don't need this mumbo jumbo. Just gonna delete here, right? It's called AddPrimaryContact. So AddPrimaryContact, edit new AddPrimaryContact. This is test accounts, right? Test accounts here. Or not test account, contact. We pass the test contact and then the state, which is state. Or we can just pass CA. Right? What does this challenge say? Create an instance of the primary contact class, include the job, assert that the contact record was inserted for each 50 accounts with the billing state of California. Okay, so we want to know if California is 50, right? So I'm gonna copy this and call this added, and then we have 50 over here, right? Assert equal, wait, in QJob added, why there's an exclamation point there. Okay, that's good. So add primary contact added at test contact comma CA, or in test contact doesn't exist. Let's bring this because it's a different method now, right? You know what? Let's just bring this together like that and like that. Make it simple. And take this out and take this out. Well, we don't need this. We're just gonna put it here, CA, and then we do that, right? And then close it here and tidy up like that. So now variable doesn't exist, parent ID. What is that? 24. Oh, of course. So we want to assert equal if the California is 50, right? So I'm going to assert equal with select count from contact where account ID, right, in select ID from accounts where ID or where billing state equals CA. Save that puppy. From account, not accounts. I'm just going to save that. Boom. Because the test is to test if the California was actually inserted. Okay, so it says on the challenge that here. And assert that a contact record was inserted for each of the 50 accounts with the billing state of CA. Yeah, right? So let's do that and then run all tasks from developer console to verify this challenge, and it has to be 100% coverage. So I'm going to run test here. Boom. And I'm going to scroll up here. Go to my test. It's green, but how many percent? We have AddPrimaryContact, right? AddPrimaryContact is 100%. So we are good to go. 100% coverage. Let's grab the point. So bada bing, bada boom. Oh yeah, I'm gonna flip back here so you can see the full code to debug for your own. So here, public class AddPrimaryContact Queueable. This is pretty straightforward. And the test, you have to create first 50 accounts California, 50 accounts New York, insert the account, create the contact, and then AddPrimaryContact, execute the queuable, right? And then enqueue the job and assert that. That's it. Boom. I'll see you on the next video.